Hey everyone, welcome to the I'm Just Looking podcast. I'm Michael Crowley. Happy New Year's Eve. It's been some exciting time around here. We have a special guest today. This is Brittany. Brittany is with our BDC department. So talk a little bit with her and talk about the end of the year and some exciting things. First, she's sitting at a phone booth because she's actually really short. Go ahead, sit
Yeah.
down like you normally would sit. There you go. So she's actually very short. We had to use a phone book to get her to so she didn't look like she was, completely small, but she is, right?
Yep.
And you're used to that.
Absolutely.
We've had to deal with some issues the last couple of days. Up here in the great state of New York, we had some snow on Saturday, and then the snow melted because it turned into 48 degrees, and then the next day it all froze and was like an ice skating rink. So we've been dealing with that for the last couple of days, but we're at the end of the month and end of the year. So if you guys listen to the podcast number 2, which was do you get a better deal at the end of the month or end of the year, here we are. You want a better deal? Come on down to Auto Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. But let's talk with Brittany.
Yeah.
So, Brittany, tell us a little bit about your history in the car business and some of the things that you've done.
Yeah. So, my history in the car business, I might be newer to the car industry compared to some veterans out there. I worked 4 years at a competitor's dealership where I did their marketing as well as their auction. So, I have a little bit of background experience of what car dealerships come from and how to market your vehicles and talk to customers in the customer service realm. And then I was brought into auto to handle their BDC department here in the CDJR department in the CDJR store, where I handle day-to-day tasks of following up with customers and clients and trying to get them into a new ride. And I also help with some of the marketing here at this store as well. So if you've ever inquired about a car here or a lead in the past few months, you've probably heard from me, or I have been reaching you and I would like a call back, please. Thank
Mhm.
you.
So, funny thing is it Otto or is it auto? How do you say it?
I say auto.
Auto. It's like
Yeah.
Audi and Audi, I guess,
Mhm.
right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Potatoes, potatoes, right? So, Brittany, you are the person that a majority of the people are in touch with. You pretty much touch all the customers, right? Because the customers are reaching out nowadays. Obviously, after COVID, most people have decided that it's easier just to contact the dealership online
Yeah.
and not visit the dealership as much. So, you touch most of the customers. So you have a difficult position because I think it's hard to do the complete sale online, although it is possible, but sometimes it can be difficult. So talk a little bit about that, how, sometimes how difficult it could be when a customer wants to sort of work all the numbers over the phone or through email or text. And I think it's, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. It may be usually the difficulty is the trade appraisal.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that are, like, different about buying a car online now is I'm always your first touch point. So you reach out to me and you want all these numbers, but don't wanna give out all the information because you're pretty much putting all your eggs in one basket. Well, I don't like to look at it that way. You came to me for a reason, so I want all the information I can get so I can give you the best deal possible for your trade. I want to give you the best number. I wanna get you in that ride. Regardless if, you wanna do a trade-in, a value appraisal, it's better for you to come into the dealership so we can be hands-on with the car so we can give you the most value. Understandably so, sometimes people are like, "I live 3 hours away from you. I don't wanna be there." Well, great, let's do it a certain way. Let's use a KBB value or send us a bunch of pictures of every frame, everything that you can give detail-wise so we can try to make it work for you. The trade-in value is always the most difficult part because we don't know how the vehicle runs. It's always best for us to see, you know, how the vehicle runs, if it needs brakes, if it needs tires. It's hard to see that in a physical photo. So it's always best to go to a dealership and talk to one of us first to set you up with an appointment to get you here. But we always try to work the deals over as much as we can over the phone.
I always like the can you appraise my car? There is a noise and it sounds a little like rum rum rum, So kidding. Yes, we're a KBB instant cash offer dealership. Currently, that's what we use. They will you can basically put all the information into their site. You can put pictures in there. The more information you put in, the more description you give, the better, the closer the value could possibly be for your car. But obviously, as a general sales manager, I'm the one looking at the car, and I'm the one buying it from you. So it's no different if you're buying it from us, a car from us. I'm buying the car from you. So I do want to. I if you want the most value, it's always going to be if I can see it hands on. It's not because we're trying to trick you to come into the dealership to, somehow hold your keys hostage like the old school days. That doesn't happen. That's not what we're looking for. But, you know, if I throw a number out of, let's say, $1,000 and you were hoping for 12,000, it's easier for me to close that gap if I see it in person because I can say, okay, well, it's really nice. It doesn't have any scratches. Obviously, I can pull a Carfax over the phone, but it's easier for me to justify spending a little bit more money purchasing that car from you. If, the other thing that we can bat a lot is you can attest to this Carvana or CarMax. They gave me more money for my car. Why can't you do that? Well, obviously, they're a major corporation, so they're the ones that can step up a little bit more on your car. That is true, but there's a big thing, especially we have to explain around here that not a lot of people understand is there's a tax savings that you may get. What you do is you pay tax on the difference between what we're selling you the car for and what your trade is worth. So you pay sales tax on that. If you sell your car to CarMax or Carvana or another party like that, you would pay the full tax amount on the sale price. So that could be thousands of dollars also in savings towards the trade. So that's something that she combats a lot. I'm certain that you probably get a lot of people that say, I'm just looking around online. Huh? That's like the podcast, right? I'm just looking.
Yeah, I'm just looking, I'm just inquiring. I'm not sure if I'm actually interested. I thought about a car. I didn't know if I wanted to get out of my lease early. It's a lot of
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
I just clicked a button and all of a sudden you called me, which we love. Give us a call. We don't care. We'll send you an email or text out just to try to answer your questions. Sometimes they're very simple questions. Other times they can be a little in depth. But she gets dozens and dozens of inquiries every month, and we want to be able to give you all the information that you're looking for. If you can be more specific when you do submit that lead, exactly how we can answer your questions, and a nice phone number would be good instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that enough numbers? No, I don't know how many numbers are in a phone number. Or it might be in Europe, but try to give us a phone number that we can contact because occasionally. I'll hear Brittany outside my office say, "Well, how am I supposed to get in touch with you? It's a bad email. It's a bad phone number." So just, understand that. We're not trying to not get back to you. We're not trying to give you information, but we're just trying to answer all the questions for you. So, Brittany, you've been here with Auto for how long?
About 3 months.
3 months. And
So
how's it going?
it's going good. I've learned a lot. I mean, I think at every car dealership you kind of go to, you learn something new and like learn something different or a different way of doing things. And here I definitely have learned a lot already in 3 months that I've learned.
I tend to do that to people. I make them learn a lot. No, how's it working for me?
I hope it's going well for you.
I'm asking you.
I think it's going well. I've learned a lot. I think we've made a lot of good deals. I think I've learned a lot from you. I think, we've been growing this,
Small little
small
place.
little sales
Yeah.
department to
Yeah.
something bigger.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, 2026, I think we're gonna do great. I think we're gonna sell a lot of cars.
I know we're going to sell a lot of cars. So, yeah. So Brittany's job is very, very difficult, right? So again, she makes all the phone calls, the emails, she sets up the appointments, you come on in, but she does a lot of our social media stuff. She's convinced me to do this. So I got ring lights and cameras and all sorts of stuff, microphones and all that stuff. So she's the one behind all that. She's doing a fantastic job with that. So let's ask some other questions, Brittany.
Sure.
So the process, so somebody submits a lead, right? And let's just say, let's use one of our 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee, right? And that person is excited to buy the car, but wants to lease it, right? And says, I just want to know what my payment is. Give an example of like how you handle it and how you would like the customers maybe to handle it so that we can provide them with the right information. I know how I would answer that question, but we'll put you under the gun and see if you
Sure.
can answer it right.
Sure. So with like leases are a little bit funky. So when I contact a customer, I let them know. I said, "Hey, just so you know, we do have a lease special going on. You can definitely try to qualify for it. All leases are based on how much money you're going to put down. They're based on months, mileage, and your credit. So we always try to get as much information as possible before even trying to pull a credit. Like my first job as a BDC is never to be like, put in a credit app so I can see what you qualify for. It's never that way. I want to get as most information so we get you in the lease that you want to be in. Because some of these lease specials are only for 5,000 a year, and you're probably a person that wants a 15,000 per year lease. So we have to really narrow it down to see what the best deal is for you. So I kind of aim it when I try to like navigate these like lease specials. I'm like, great, you saw that national ad that's based on tier one credit, which means you have to at least have a 720 credit score. You need to at least have 5,000 down, and you need to like only be driving 5,000 a month. So 5,000 a year. So let's break that down and see what you fall in, and then we'll start your lease right from there before even pulling your credit. Everybody's gonna tell me you have great credit.
Yep.
I'm sure you do.
We have the best credit
And
customers in the
I
world.
don't think
Yes.
anybody's ever had
Yeah.
better credit than you,
Yeah.
and I try to work based on, like, what you tell me, but if your information isn't as accurate, your payout won't be as accurate, so I try to work it that way. When it gets to a certain point, I say, "Well, great, I have a wonderful salesperson that will be taking over from this point because we wanna make sure that our sales guys get, you know, the
Yeah.
least customers."
Leases can be difficult, guys. So again, she's accurate. I mean, there's so many different terms, but some of those national ads you see on TV, they drive me crazy. And people are like, "Well, I can lease this car for $399 a month. How come you're $600 a month?" Well, here's the answer. Those ads are $399 a month, but they're with $49.99 down, $1,999 down, plus your first payment, plus your tax, plus your all your fees, right? So that turns into $6,000, $7,000. So if you want to put that down, sure, we can do that. But those ads are driven to show you a low monthly payment, but it's not as easy. And there are so many variables. Stellantis, who we work for, does 5,000 miles a year, 7,500, 10,000, 12,000. I mean, you can go up to whatever you want. Not really. I think there's a cap at 25,000 a year, but, there's a lot of different variables when it relates to that money down. Here in the great state of New York, your taxes are put up front. Or you're required to put the taxes up. We can roll that into the payment, but that adds money to your payment. Connecticut, I know it's based on driveway tax or something. Massachusetts, same thing. It's a lot different how the tax is calculated. So we can calculate that for you. But again, just to throw out a number, we can't do that unless we have that specific vehicle. We know all the rebates that apply, the money down, the miles per year, the tax, all that stuff. So there's a lot of different variables that are involved.
Yeah, especially with Stellantis, a lot of Stellantis leases, it's so if you can get an extra lease, incentive on loyalty.
Yeah.
Some of them on the national ads say that you're already a loyalty customer, so you get an additional $2,500 incentive on a vehicle you might not qualify for.
Right. So we'll advertise, especially interest rate, where I know we're jumping off leases for a second, but as far as we'll advertise an average interest rate for every customer, because I can't say, "Oh, you're from this area, so I'm going to give you the lowest rate," or "You're from this area, I'm going to give you this rate." So we definitely use the same rate across the board. Same thing with, leases. We have to stick with that. So it can be difficult sometimes. So be patient. We'll get
Yeah.
you the information you want, but we're going to need to gather a little bit from you. So Brittany, we don't want to prolong too long, but do you have anything you want to ask me?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
what's the wildest thing, appropriate wise, that a
Oh,
customer has ever asked you?
I love my favorite. This happened in the 90s, so way before you even thought of being born. Wanted to trade in a Clydesdale horse
Okay.
and wondered if we would do that. And at the time, I did. We took it in on trade for $1,000, which was a steal nowadays, right? I do know a local dealer just around the corner just took in an Angus bull. So funny thing is, when people want to trade in an animal, that's pretty wild, I think.
I think that's pretty crazy. I don't
Yeah.
think I'd ever trade in any of my animals.
Yeah. I think I would trade. So my two dogs are Dunkin' and Donut, and I wouldn't mind trading them in. They're a little long in the tooth, though, unfortunately. Well, guys, we don't want to make this podcast too long. I really appreciate Brittany coming on and talking with us. As always, please, we need you guys to share our page. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, right? All that
Yes.
stuff.
Yep.
You're the
We're
one
on
who
all of
got it.
them. Yep.
I don't know nothing about TikTok. Starting to learn it. She's the one that set it all up. I have no idea what's going on, but we need you guys to share our page, like the posts, try to get this thing going. We're gonna take off early on for New Year's Eve, but everybody stay safe and have a wonderful New Year's, and we will see you again soon. All right. Any questions you guys have? I got a couple of people responding to what their best car was, their favorite car, and their first car. Respond to that video and let us know, because I want to talk about that next time. But keep the comments coming. It's great to hear from everybody. All right. Brittany is out. She's going to get off her phone book,
Yeah.
and we'll talk to you guys soon.